The Guardians of the North originally consisted of nearly 20 bombers, the firepower behind the 410th Bombardment Wing. Flown since 1961 by the members of the 644th Bomb Squadron, the B-52s have served America well through the Cold War and during missions in Vietnam and Desert Storm. With the end of the Cold War comes the end of the need for hundreds of B-52s. The military is downsizing and bases are closing, and proud traditions are ending along with them.
It hurts to close a unit of this caliber. They've been twice won the Omaha Trophy for the best strategic wing in the world. They've won numerous awards on a almost monthly basis. It's difficult to back away from them.
644th Bomb Squadron, K.I. Sawyer Air Force Base, Michigan, is inactivated.
Of the bombers, only one remains, tail number 0026, nicknamed Rocky by its ground crew, and considered to be the flagship of K.I. Sawyer Air Force Base. It served the Air Force for over 30 years and was maintained during the last 4 by Crew Chief Peter Varney. He remembers when his home state was one of the most powerful in the world.
It's just one of those weird things about, you know, across the whole United States, all the B-52 bases that used to be assigned, and there were lots of them everywhere. There was 3 in Michigan, and now it's gone. And the only bombers still in Michigan are the static displays we've got.
Varney will stay with the B-52 as they head to Minot, North Dakota. He doesn't have many choices. Only 2 bases will have Stratofortresses, Minot and Barksdale near Shreveport, Louisiana. This isn't the first time that bomber crews have faced cutbacks. In October of '91, the Air Force removed the gunner from the crew. His was the only enlisted position on the plane, but former gunner Phil Pender says there wasn't room for rank on board.
When you had 5 officers and the enlisted gunner on the aircraft, the enlisted officer differential usually stopped at the hatch door downstairs. Once you got on this aircraft, all rank was really out the window. You were a 6-man crew. You worked together.
And we'll see how that 6-man crew operates when we taxi and take off with Michigan's final B-52 in our next segment. On special assignment, this is Rick Mixter. Few bomber crews can tout the experience of Havoc Flight 001. The final B-52 from K.I. Sawyer Air Force Base. Sawyer's top brass make up the majority of the crew, including the commander, co-pilot, and radar navigator. In the pilot seat is Wing Commander Colonel Regner Ryder. His co-pilot is Operations Group Commander Colonel Don Paraguay. With instructor pilot Captain Bill Hook, the pilots have some 10,000 hours of experience in the sky. Keeping the bomber on track and on time is the navigators, headed up by Sawyer Squadron Commander Colonel Bruce Wong. Next to him is Lieutenant Garvin Louie. Flying in offense is Electronic Warfare Officer Lieutenant William Young and Gunner Sergeant Phil Pender. Gunners haven't flown on the B-52 in 3 years, so this flight means a lot to Sergeant Pender.
There's a proud heritage with tail gunners. There's an old saying that the first pilot to ever crawl on an airplane, the second man behind him was his gunner. Somebody had to watch his 6 when he was flying. To be able to go out of Sawyer today with the last B-52, it's just really hard to describe.
Also aboard is the plane's crew chief, Sergeant Peter Varney. He hopes to stay with the bomber when he gets to his new base.
Hopefully I'll be able to retain it and stay on as the head mechanic. I got a friend of mine who's trying to get it, but I'll make him my assistant.
Flying the last active duty aircraft out of Michigan is certainly exciting, but there's a lot of sadness with this too. I was born on this Air Force Base 30 years ago, and that B-52 bomber, my father loaded Hound Dog missiles on it.
Thousands of people feel the same way I do about Sawyer closing, and even Mother Nature did what she could to keep the bomber in the UP. High winds grounded the ceremonial takeoff, and the departure was scrubbed until the next day. Not even Mother Nature could stop the inevitable. And Tuesday, the crew found clear skies and a dry runway. Those clear skies allowed the crew to make a final pass over Marquette, Sawyer, and Gwinn, and several of the area schools let students out early to see history fly away. In 3 hours, the voyage would only be a memory, and while some of the crew will go on to fly the Stratofortress again, there were those of us who knew this was the last time. This is Rick Mixter.